A letter from a friend. After my 10-year high school reunion, which I couldn't attend because I was teaching in Ecuador at the time, I received a letter from a childhood friend. Andy shared with me the highlights of the event and the conversations he had had. He shared with me what several of our classmates were now doing 10 years after high school graduation. He said, I don't remember Jeff Cowan saying that he wanted to be a latex glove salesman or that Robin Bickham wanted to spend a good part of her 20s in jail, but I do remember, Martha, that you said that you wanted to help children and work for peace and justice. And Martha, there you are in Ecuador doing just that. The message of that letter stays with me even today. My life has taken many turns, and I can't say that I'm where I might have planned or thought I would be at this time in my life. But I continue to go back to that dream I had expressed. Am I helping children, and am I working for peace and justice? I've had some amazing opportunities in my life. I've worked in an orphanage in Haiti, helped out in a clinic in Somalia. I've worked with children with AIDS in Nairobi. I've even participated in an orangutan rescue in the jungles of Borneo. But mostly I've been a teacher. The real adventurous stuff has made for some great journal entries, but the real heart of my work has been teaching your average kid, if there is such thing as an average kid. Granted, those average kids sometimes living in not-so-average places and experiencing not-so-average things, such as life in a sheep camp in a mud and stick Navajo hogan, or in a country experiencing the growing pains of an infancy of democracy, with riots and presidents moving in and out at lightning speed. But my days weren't usually filled with feeding starving children or harboring refugees. They were mainly spent teaching kids to read and problem solve and to learn about the world around them. Most days I was dealing with textbooks, grading, parent conferences, recess duty, etc. But through all of the mundane, my goal was the same. I want to help children and work for peace and justice. And here's what I've found. The best way for me to do this is to truly work at educating students, providing them with the skills needed to think critically, problem solve, work together, and care about each other. Actually, what I've found is that the more we know about anything, the more we care. So, how did I get to this point where I'm teaching teachers how to use technology in the classroom? What does this have to do with my goal? A lot, actually. The more opportunities I can provide for students and teachers to get to know and work with each other, the more likely my students will learn to care for others. And when we are knowledgeable, and when we care, and when we know how to problem solve, we naturally do our best to solve problems. For me, technology is about making connections, sharing with others, seeing different perspectives, empowering change. I try to help students use technology to learn and empower to see the problems they would like to change in the world, and then actually construct knowledge to solve the problems. Some of these problems. Some of the coolest moments in my classroom have been following a disaster. My students immediately come and ask, what are we going to do to help? They see themselves as helpers, and they have learned to use a variety of tools that they can use to be helpers. A few years back, I was sharing one of my adventurous stories with my 5th grade class. A student raised his hand and asked, Mrs. Thornburg, why are you here? He couldn't fathom why I would choose to be teaching in Mount Vernon, Washington, after all that I had seen and done. And my answer was that I was here to share my love of learning about others with he and his classmates, so that they too could follow their dreams and make a difference. So my message is simple. Realize the importance of opening new worlds for our students. Technology gets to be a great tool of empowerment when used as a tool for problem solving, communication, and sharing. Malala states that one child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. I agree, and I would say that we can use technology in craftful ways to empower this change.